A bombshell reported admission tonight from comedian Bill Cosby. According to court documents just unsealed by a judge, Cosby testified a decade ago that he had obtained sedatives years earlier with the intention of giving them to young women he wanted to have sex with. The deposition was part of a 2005 civil suit involving Cosby and a Philadelphia area woman who claimed that Cosby had drugged her and sexually assaulted her. Cosby was not charged in connection with these claims, and the case was dismissed with prejudice in 2006. Cosby's legal team fought to keep the documents from being released, saying they would embarrass him. Bill Cosby has never been charged with a crime in connection to past sexual and drug allegations he and his representatives have continued to deny. NBC News has contacted Cosby's attorneys regarding the documents and is waiting to hear back from them. For more on this shocking development, we turn to NBC's Joe Fryer. So, Joe, what are we learning tonight in terms of details? This is from 10 years ago. What do we know about how this came out, why this came out, and specifically what he's admitting to here?
Yeah, well, we know this deposition was from 2005. Bill Cosby was under oath at the time. It was for a lawsuit. He was being sued, accused of sexual assault at the time. The claims were that that assault happened many decades earlier in the 1970s. So this was a case that came about later. Now, in the deposition, one of the key moments that everyone's focusing on is that Bill Cosby says he obtained Quaaludes. He is asked by an attorney at one point, when you got the Quaaludes, was it in your mind that you were going to use these Quaaludes for young women that you wanted to have sex with? And according to the deposition, Cosby replied yes. It's important to note right after that, the attorney asked, did you ever give any of these young women the Quaaludes without their knowledge? Attorney objected. There was no answer to that question, so that question sort of hung out there. And a few moments later, Cosby did clarify that he was referring to one woman and not multiple women. And I think some of the question here is whether these women knowingly knew that they were taking the drugs versus not knowing. But still, it's raising a lot of questions. This lawsuit, as you mentioned, was dismissed in 2006. Cosby's attorneys were fighting to make sure these documents did not come to light, saying that it would just embarrass Bill Cosby. More than 24 women have now accused him of sexual assault, and some of them say they were drugged, but Cosby has all along denied the allegations and has never been criminally charged. And tonight we have reached out to his attorneys for reaction to this deposition. We are still waiting to hear back. Steve.
All right, Joe Fryer, thanks for that update. And joining me now is MSNBC chief legal correspondent Ari Melber. So, Ari, the details are from 10 years ago, but anything that you're seeing here or reading about in relation to this now that makes you look at this and say there's some potential for prosecution here for Cosby? Is there any?
There is. The big bar in all of these types of old cases is the statute of limitations, which is a matter of state law and varies state to state. There are a few places like New Jersey where there have been these kind of allegations made and no statute of limitations to bar it, but what you still need is the kind of physical evidence or other materials that makes a prosecutor feel they have enough to go on beyond just what you might call one allegation absent any other evidence. This may be something that different prosecutors at the local level look at and say, we didn't have access to it, it wasn't previously unsealed, and it shows a much earlier contemporaneous fact pattern that looks bad for Bill Cosby. Yeah, it certainly looks bad in the court of public opinion, and I'm trying to read through this, and I'm getting the impression that maybe, though, as these questions were being asked 10 years ago, the discussion got cut off too soon to get more specific details that would be more damning? I think that's fair. I think that's certainly what his lawyers would say. If you read those sections of deposition, as your reporter was mentioning, there is some back and forth, a lot of objecting, illegally or potentially unauthorized obtaining of drugs is not the same automatically as the kind of acts that he's also accused of, but it does fit that larger fact pattern, which is bad for him. But yes, you could have other arguments about that. You could have arguments about parties or gatherings where you could say allegedly people were taking drugs consensually or having these interactions consensually. So there are a lot of ways that lawyers can obviously distinguish what's going on. But I think what we see with the Bill Cosby case here is particularly over time, the way that these kind of sexual assault allegations are treated has gotten better and been taken more seriously. And so you have an earlier period of stuff where, yeah, the only recourse was some sort of civil settlement. It doesn't seem always that prosecutors were looking into this, and he was a powerful man with a lot of allies. Another allegation coming out of this is that his agents were helping pay off some of these things. So there were a lot of things cutting against those early reports.
Yeah, and if you could clarify, too, these legal terms, and I'm a layman here, so they confuse me, but I'm reading this, and I'm seeing this is the testimony that comes out from this case 10 years ago, and then basically not long after this testimony, the suit is this civil suit from this woman. It is dismissed with prejudice. That's the term that's being thrown out there. Explain what that term means. Does that mean the court is looking at this and saying it's meritless?
It means that with regard to the civil suit, that is private parties dealing with each other, just like if you get into a dispute with your neighbor over the fence and you sue them, right? The government isn't involved, police and prosecutors aren't involved. That's the criminal side. Civil side is, yes, it could be dismissed with prejudice in the sense that our suit is now over. It has ended. It may have ended for legal reasons, that a judge decided there was not enough there. It may have ended for settlement reasons and thus been closed, that the parties agree to settle and seal. And typically that's where it comes into the fact that he is a prominent person who, according to the judge, also held himself out as a sort of a moral leader. Typically, part of what people pay for when they settle something, they don't necessarily admit guilt, but they certainly usually try to obtain confidentiality around the contents of the suit.
So a settlement would be dismissed with prejudice. That term would apply for a settlement.
That could be in that case.
Okay.
And what we have here, though, is the idea that some of what they thought they were putting to bed for good legally, right? And again, as we've mentioned, we haven't heard an updated reaction from Cosby's attorneys. They may have additional rebuttals once they decide to speak out. But from what we do know, they would have thought at the time and for many years that this was going to remain confidential because that was a party to whatever confidential settlement. Even though we have some of the deposition materials, we still don't know everything that may have been agreed to with regard to the money paid, whether that was court ordered, et cetera. What we've seen, at least tonight, is this damning testimony.
Okay, Ari Melber, thanks for that insight. Appreciate it.